Sai Ram. The 29th of June 1957 is a very special day in the history of the Sri Sathya Sai Avatar. On this day, Swami had taken a group of devotees to the sands of the river Chitravati. There, among the other things that he materialized, Swami dug into the sands and pulled out some copper plates. These copper plates had mystical markings on them, and Swami said that they would support and help any true sadhaka who is interested in meditation and is interested in achieving greater heights in the spiritual path. Swami carried these copper plates midway up the Vidyagiri hill, and there he buried them in the ground, and over these copper plates with those mystical markings, Swami planted the holy Vatavriksha tree. Even to this day, the Vatavriksha tree stands midway on the Vidyagiri hill. 29th of June 1957 was the inauguration of this Tapovanam, the meditation tree. This meditation tree finds mention even in the Sri Sathya Sai Ashtottaram. Om Shri Sai Sadhaka Anugraha Vatavriksha Pratisthapakaya Namaha. Salutations to Sai who has planted the holy Vatavriksha tree for blessing and gracing the various sadhakas. On that occasion was also Swami Sachidananda from the Divine Life Society, which had been started by Swami Shivananda at Rishikesh. Swami Sachidananda was serving Swami and staying with Swami. He had that great blessing. And on that occasion, with Bhagwan's permission, he revealed a most amazing incident that he had been witness to just a few weeks before. This is an incident related to suicide, and actually the second part of my narration. If you have missed the first part, go to this link here, see that and then come back here. Else, just hold on for a few moments for the exciting culmination of this incident. As mentioned previously, the officer in Bhopal had put the gun, the revolver to his head and was about to pull the trigger and end his life. At that very point in time, Swami had shouted, "Stop, don't shoot," and fallen at Kodaikanal. What happened was, instead of the gunshot, a loud banging on the door occurred at Bhopal at this person's house. The officer quickly rushed back to the bedroom, put the revolver on the bed under the pillow, put a sheet over it, covered it, and then went to the door. As he opened the door, he found that it was his college friend, a dear friend of his, and he had come along with his wife. There was also a porter carrying a hold-all and all the baggage on his head. Wow, what a surprise! The friends greeted each other. The officer welcomed his friend into the home. Seeing the friend itself made him lose all his sorrow and despair and disappointment. And then they began to relive the college days. Out of my own experience, I can tell you, brothers and sisters, reliving our school and college days, whether they have been difficult times or fun times or troublesome times, exam times, playful times, all of them, they become such beautiful memories, They become such beautiful memories and it brings so much joy. Naturally, the man found so much joy going down memory lane with his friend. For about 45 minutes, there was laughter, merriment, joy. The man even offered a few snacks for his friend. After all that, the friend asked where was the officer's wife. And he said that she's not in town, she's out of town, she has gone to her native place. That was when the friend said, "Oh, what a disappointing thing it is. We will come some other time when your wife is also there. Let all four of us spend happy time together. Otherwise, my wife will be alone here and she doesn't have company. So, see you later." The officer insisted. He told his friend, no, please stay here. Where are you staying? Stay at least at my home for one night. The friend refused, and just as suddenly as he had come, he left with his wife, the porter also, with all the baggage, hold-all, everything. Even as the officer closed the door of his home, He remembered what he was about to do. He came back to his senses. He felt so repentant. He was now in such a happy frame of mind. Who cared if one small promotion did not come? Life is not about career. Life is not about money. Life is not about one relationship. Life is not about anything. Life is much, much, much more grander than many of us imagine. Life is about God. Life is about attaining that state after which we will never have to go through the cycle of life and death again. The officer walked now to the bedroom. He wanted to pick the revolver and possibly put it back inside the drawer. As the friend walked out of the home at Bhopal, Swami came out of his trance in Kodaikanal, and by his side was Swami Sachidananda. Swami told Sachidananda, "I have to immediately send a telegram." "Sure, Swami, to whom?" "This is the person's name." Unfortunately, Swami Sachidananda didn't reveal the person's name as he narrated this incident at the Vatavriksha. "Sure, Swami. What is the address?" "This is the address in Bhopal." "What is the message?" "The message is, don't worry, the revolver is with me." When Swami Sachidananda heard this message from Swami, he said, "Swami, this is a telegram. Anybody will be able to read it. I don't think it's appropriate that we put the revolver in the message. Can we put the word instrument?" Swami thought for a while and he said, "Yes, the person will understand the import. You can replace the word revolver with instrument." Thus, a telegram was dispatched from Kodaikanal to Bhopal with the message, "Don't worry, the instrument is with me." At this point in time, the officer had walked into the bedroom, lifted the sheets and the pillow to see the gun was missing. Oh my God, where did this revolver go? He began to search everywhere. He searched the bedroom, the living room, the kitchen, and then the thought occurred to him, by chance, did my friend take it and go away? But then the friend had not even gone into the bedroom. He walked out of the house, he tried to search for his friend, locate his friend. There was no way to contact him. Those were the days when there was no mobile phone technology. He walked back into the house again did another thorough search. That was when there was another knock on the door. This time it was the postman. He had come with an urgent telegram. And as the man read the telegram, there were tears in his eyes. The message made so much sense. It was there. "Don't worry, the instrument is with me, Baba." The officer realized that his wife's Baba, his wife's Swami, was his Baba and his Swami as well. Out of his immense karuna, immense compassion, he had come and stopped him from committing the most heinous of crimes. In gratitude, this officer immediately wrote a letter and posted it to Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba Puttaparthi. A few days later, Swami along with Swami Sachidananda was back in Puttaparthi exactly in time to receive this letter. Swami handed this letter straight to Swami Sachidananda and said, "Read." And that is how Swami Sachidananda had placed together all the pieces of the puzzle. He understood this entire story, and it is Bhagwan's grace that he decided to narrate it in front of the assembled audience of devotees on that day, the 29th of June, 1957. In his Krishnashtami discourse on the 16th of August, 1987, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba revealed a beautiful incident which shows what is God's opinion on suicide. He narrated, on one occasion, Arjuna was very despondent and dejected, and he decided that he would commit suicide. Krishna, who is all-knowing, knew the thoughts that were going on in Arjuna's head. So he called him aside and he said, "Oh Arjuna, tonight will you give me the opportunity to dine with you? Let us have a private dinner, only the two of us." Arjuna agreed. And that night, as Krishna and Arjuna sat together to have dinner, Krishna walked up to the door and bolted it. Then he came to Arjuna, bent down and touched his feet. Even as Krishna touched his feet, Arjuna got up in a shock. He said, "Oh Krishna, what are you doing? Why are you touching my feet?" Just imagine if Swami were to touch our feet, how would we respond? And Krishna says, "Arjuna, I'm holding your feet because I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you not to do what you're thinking." And then Krishna tells him, "With all your titles and achievements, it is utterly unbecoming of you to entertain thoughts of suicide. You are the foremost among the Pandavas. You acquired the Gandiva from Shiva after going through such severe penances and ordeals. You should be a master of your senses and not a slave. Today, you have been overcome by your mind and senses. This is unworthy of you. Arjuna, if you love me, give me a pledge that in no circumstances in the future you will think of suicide. Your life is mine and my life is yours. The divine is the indweller in all beings. I am present in you. Oh Arjuna, if you contemplate suicide, you will be guilty of killing your dear Krishna." At that point in time, Arjuna now fell at the feet of Lord Krishna, begged forgiveness and promised him that he would never ever think of suicide ever again. Dear brothers and sisters, in yet another discourse, Swami clearly mentions that suicide is an act of cowardice. It is akin to running away from our problems, but the problems will not leave us. In that discourse, Swami says, "Why do you fear when Swami is here? Swami is near, Swami is dear. Remember that God is in your heart as your indweller. And never try to run away from your problems. Face them bravely." That is the Bhagavad Gita that Lord Krishna gave to his Arjuna. That is the Sai Gita that our dear Sai Krishna gives it to each one of us as if we were his Arjunas. So dear brothers and sisters, whenever you are in any difficulty, please let us remember Sai side, not suicide. Before concluding, here is one superb medicinal pill, if I can call so, that helps me overcome all my despondency, dejection, sorrows and irritations. It is called the prayer of surrender. This has been gifted to us by Bhagwan. It is there in the link above. Please do click there and view it for yourself whenever you feel low. I promise that it will end up making you feel much better, much stronger. On that note, thank you. Jai Sai Ram.